Now you can stop flying it.
Meet the Cub. This is a 1946 J-3 Cub here at Nevada County Airport, my latest acquisition, the first Cub I've ever owned in my life. It's Thursday, November 17th. It's my 61st birthday. Today, 45 years ago in 1978, on my 16th birthday, I soloed right here at Nevada County Airport in my first airplane that I ever bought, which was a 1942 Taylorcraft DC-065. That was a tandem seat Taylorcraft that was used as a glider trainer and then reconverted back to civilian use. So on that aircraft, they removed the engine. Well, when they originally built it, I think it was, they just had another basket here on the front end. They'd put a student pilot up here in the front end with no engine, tow it up and glide down as they were training folks in World War II to do those very dangerous Waco glider missions in World War II. Then after the war, those aircraft had the front end basket removed and they put on a A-65 Continental engine and they continued to fly as civilian aircraft. And I bought that first airplane when I was 15 in Yuma, Arizona, from Rocco Andresano, a DEA agent at the time, for $3,500. We ferried it all the way up here to Grass Valley, Nevada County Airport with Travis Majors, instructor at the time, long since retired U.S. Air pilot. Where are you, Travis? Get back in touch. And then soloed it on my 16th birthday and got my license on my 17th birthday, so I had a year to fly it in between the solo and my license. So I went in to go see old Carl Harder down there at Lincoln, California, with probably about 100 hours of flying time. So let's check out this Cub. This Cub's got quite a bit of history from right here at Nevada County Airport as well. So your standard 1946 J-3 Cub, just under 20,000 of these were built in the United States. Both Taylor and William Piper were part of the Piper Aircraft Company before Taylor split off and formed Taylorcraft. A-65 powered was the stock engine. Well, originally they came with an even smaller engine, a 40 horse, and then worked their way. The most common was a 65. This one's got the 85 horsepower engine. Of course, no electrical system, hand prop, 4-cylinder air-cooled Continental engine. Here's your fuel tank and fuel gauge. Your main fuel tank is right here, and this cork and bobber is your fuel indicating system right there. So when this coat hanger, depending on how you have it calibrated, when this coat hanger sinks all the way to the bottom, you've still got about 2 or 3 gallons of fuel on board. And the 12-gallon tank is mounted right here. Here's your full IFR instrument panel, needle ball and airspeed. Here's your most important instrument right there. Remain coordinated, keep the ball in the middle, step on the ball. Airspeed right there, tachometer, oil temperature, oil pressure, airspeed and vertical speed indicator, and a mag compass. Tandem seating with rudder pedals. In this aircraft, you solo it from the rear seat only. That makes the center of gravity work for this aircraft, and it gives you an excellent view of the entire situation, especially solo, especially regarding your yaw angle there and staying directly on the center line. You can really see it well with this tandem seat arrangement. Heel brakes that barely work. The heel brakes actuate these stock mechanical hydraulic brakes, and these wheels are only that's only a 4-inch hub there on these stock Cub wheels, so very small wheels. Those brakes will just barely hold a run up, which is okay, because in student training, the one thing you can't undo as an instructor is the brakes. So having brakes that barely work is an advantage in a trainer aircraft. Besides, these things land so slow, you hardly need the brakes. There's the suspension, a pair of bungee cords inside these bags here. I don't want to get into that, it's too grubby. Here's a suction for the needle ball, for the needle part of your indicators. 4-to-1 exhaust air filter right there. So one of the great things about the Cub is you can fly with the doors and windows wide open, especially during hot summertime days. Soloing from the rear seat, it's pretty comfortable back there, but as the instructor sitting in the front seat, it's a very tight fit. Your knees are right up right up to your shoulders here. And so this is why I think students soloed so quickly in the Cub. Not only was it a great trainer and an easy aircraft to fly, but the instructors just couldn't wait to get out of this instructor seat and let the student fly solo. And with an empty weight of just under 800 pounds, very lightweight airplane, these aircraft are very weight sensitive. And when you get me out of the front seat, it flies great, like a whole different airplane. Some of the other basic controls is your throttle right there, fuel on and off right there, elevator trim, unique Piper system right here, carburetor heat is over here, and all these controls you can reach from the front or the back seat. Real simple stick controls, as we've talked about before. And then this one's been modified where you've got a, well, I got a handheld radio to an intercom so we can communicate between the pilots. Magneto switch, turn the mags on and off, and an additional auxiliary 12-gallon wing tank located up here, on and off, and with a fuel gauge there, with the idea being that once you've run your main fuel tank down, you can then turn on this wing tank and it will just simply refill the main tank, and the engine will continue to run off of the main tank or the fuselage tank. There's a small baggage area here in the back, and you got to have your Piper Cub logoed bear in the back. But I wouldn't leave them there when you're flying around, because these windows open up, it gets pretty breezy. Moving back towards the back, here's your Piper Cub trim system where the whole stabilizer moves up and down this jack screw. And conventional tail wheel and tail wheel steering. Now here's a view I like to share. All that wing, over 750 square feet of wing area, produces a very light wing loading on this aircraft in the famous Clark Y airfoil. And you can see the wash in, wash out, a little bit of that twist built into the wing so that the inboard portion of the wing stalls first and the outboard portion stalls later, with the inboard stalling first. That gives you the buffet warning you need over the elevator for a built-in stall warning system. Very easy handling airplane. And if you're going to own a Cub, it's got to be Cub yellow. I like this little darker yellow color, and it's got to have the black lightning stripe on the side of the aircraft. This aircraft was beautifully restored by Clarksburg Air Repair in Clarksburg, California, just outside of Sacramento. Oh, not too long ago, probably less than 200 hours flying time since it was completely restored. An aircraft like this today fetches over $40,000 on the market, and Cubs have always fetched a bit more than their contemporaries. Even though the Luscombe is a better aircraft overall, way better performing, the Cubs fetch a premium because of their pedigree, I suppose. The Luscombe, for example, can cruise around at 100 miles an hour. Don Luscombe really took this design into the future and built an incredible machine with that Luscombe. The Cub is a draggy, slow, excellent training airplane. Everything in this Cub happens at 60 miles an hour. When you chop the power to this Cub, you're coming down almost 800 feet per minute. So that's like 5,000 feet forward and 800 feet down. That's like a 6-to-1 glide ratio with the power off. So with all this drag of these wing struts and high lift wings, with an engine out, you better pick a spot pretty close by, straight ahead of you, to land it. And as I mentioned in a previous video, this cub was owned by the same owner of the Husky, Bart Reeby. It was actually Bart's dad, Del Reeby, a World War II veteran that owned this cub for many, many years right here at Nevada County Airport. Flew the wings off of it for years up here. Then Bart learned to fly in it, and then Dwight Weiss owned it, and it was during that time period where we showed you that picture of the millionth young eagle flight took place in the Husky, and this cub was flying formation with him or nearby him at the time. And of course that was General Chuck Yeager flying the Husky during that young eagle, that historic young eagle flight. So that's the Cub, just a magical plane to fly in the evenings and in the dawn before the winds pick up, especially solo. But the best thing to do with these Cubs is to introduce aviation to other people. As a training aircraft, it just simply cannot be beat. Thank you so much for your support of this channel and the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible and help take care of the care, maintenance, and caretaking of these aircraft, which takes a lot of time and money, but not so much here for the Cub. Pretty economical. See you here.
Runway 25, okay.
Oh yeah. Fast. Perfect. Right at sunset.